At bilang Senate President, lagi siyang handa para sa lahat na nangyayari at mangyayari sa Senado. From the day-to-day grind of the legislative meal to the long-term timelines for our priority measures. Ika nga, walang trabahong malit at walang problemang malaki para kay Senator Sotto. Let us elect Senator Vicente C. Sotto III as our Senate President.
It is my honor to second the nomination of Senator Vicente C. Sotto III for the Senate presidency.
Being none, we will now proceed with the election of the President of the Senate.
Mr. President, I move that Senator Villanueva be recognized for the nomination.
Senator Joel Villanueva is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Acting Majority Leader. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, throughout the years, many extraordinary senators have graced this august chamber. With so many courageous, passionate, and committed public servants in this chamber, it is incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to leave a legacy that truly stands apart. But in our long history as an institution, I dare say that Senator Francis Chiz Escudero is characterized among those who have left an indelible mark. Our relationship with Senator Escudero dates back during our glory days in the lower house of Congress. At the young age of 28, he rose to represent the district of Sorsogon with distinction, matching and even surpassing the caliber of more seasoned and veteran lawmakers, serving as Deputy Majority Leader and eventually as our Minority Leader. Nung ako po'y isang bagitong kongresista noong 12th Congress, ako po'y tambay doon sa Majority Leader's office. Noong pong 13th Congress, tambayan ko naman ang Minority Leader's office sa basement ng North Wing Building sa Kamara de Representantes. Hindi po dahil gusto ko yung amoy ng sigarilyo, kundi dahil parang classroom po na doon ay merong profesor na nagtuturo sa iyo. Tuwing lalabas po ako sa North Wing basement, ganado po ako palagi. Or to say the least, palagi po akong inspired at confident. During those years, Mr. President, I saw Senator Escudero's deep respect for law, his brilliance as a lawyer, his charisma as a leader, and eloquence as a speaker. Hindi na po siya nagsisigarilyo ngayon. Mr. President, they say some people bring out the best in us. For me, that person is Senator Chiz. He doesn't just fan the flames, he ignites the fire. Here in the Senate, Senator Escudero has established a legacy that leads with courage, clarity, and an unwavering commitment to public service. In committee work, he has been known to cut through the noise and focus on solutions. Whether in bill and budget deliberations or oversight hearings, his grasp of detail and sense of justice remain uncompromising, Mr. President. Although he assumed the Senate presidency midstream, Senator Escudero did not settle for less. And numbers don't lie. Under his leadership, a historic, Mr. President, a historic 216 laws were passed during the third regular session. This is a proof of his outcome-focused mindset and ability to sometimes micromanage. But the opinion of the Filipino people about the Senate is also an important measure. According to the latest Pulse Asia survey in June, more than half or 53% of those surveyed are satisfied with the Senate's performance, an 8 percentage point increase from 45% in March of 2024. When challenges come, Senator Escudero stands firm, facing them with political maturity and discernment. He even patiently answers endless, repeated questions from our friends from the media, even from his critics. Not to grandstand, but to enlighten. During a time when our institution was under attack because of conflicting views on impeachment, he stood his ground and guided the Senate in the right direction. Napakarami pong sinalag ni Senator Escudero para protektahan ang ating minamahal na Senado. Hindi po madaling harapin, Ginoong Pangulo, ang mga mapanghusgang mga komento, masasakit na mga batikos ng ilang mga kritiko, at minsan mga below the belt na pag-aatake, lalo na po sa social media. Pero hinarap niya po ito ng may tapang, subalit sa paraang mahinahon, matalino at marespeto. At sa inilabas po na desisyon ng Korte Suprema tungkol sa impeachment, ang tanong, Ginoong Pangulo, hindi pa po ba klaro na tama ang landas kung saan dinala ni Senator Escudero ang buong Senado? Hindi po tayo nagmadali, hindi rin naman natin inupuan ang impeachment, subalit sa isang sama-samang desisyon binigyang gabay ng ating SP na panatili natin ang moral high ground ng Senado. Sa ganito pong mga pagkakataon ko po nadama ang lubos na pagmamalaki sa ating institusyon, Ginoong Pangulo, at maging lalong proud bilang miyembro ng Senado ang makagawa ng tamang desisyon para sa ating mga kababayan. In all humility, Mr. President, I can say that when Senator Escudero ran for Vice President in 2016, I could not support him. Because we belong to different parties, Mr. President. When he aimed for Senate presidency, I did not support him then either. Aaminin ko po, Mr. President, wala pong direktang suporta na nakuha sa akin si Senator Escudero sa mga nakaraang laban niya sa politika. So bakit po si Senator Chiz Escudero? Dahil bukod po sa hindi nawala ang tiwala niya sa atin, hindi po niya tayo nakalimutang i-mentor, i-challenge, i-inspire. He truly brings out the best in us. Higit sa lahat, klaro po ang mga gusto niyang ma-accomplish. Sa kabila po ng ingay sa politika, ang gusto lang po niya ay work. I join his cause and I believe Senator Chiz can bring out the very best in the Senate this 20th Congress. Therefore, Mr. President, I nominate the good gentleman from Sorsogon, Senator Francis Chiz Escudero, as our Senate President. Thank you and may God bless us all.
Thank you, Senator Joel Villanueva, the Acting Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that Senator Gatchalian be recognized for his seconding nomination.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is recognized.
Maraming salamat. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Noong 19 Congress po, nagkaroon po ako ng pagkakataon at oportunidad na makatrabaho po si Senate President Chiz Escudero. At bilang chairman po ng Senate Committee on Ways and Means, ang aming trabaho ay gumawa ng batas para makahanap ng bagong sources of revenue. At dahil po sa kanyang liderato, guidance, at sabi na nga ni Senator Joel, pagpupursige, nakapagpasa ho kami ng 10 batas sa Committee on Ways and Means kung saan makakalikom ang gobyerno ng halos 300 billion in new sources of revenues. Hindi ko makakalimutan nung binabalangkas ho namin yung Create More Law na isa sa pinakakomplikadong batas na hinawakan po ng Senate Committee on Ways and Means. Merong mga 2, 3, 4 na gabi na pumunta ho siya sa aking tanggapan, umupo doon hanggang hating gabi at hindi ho aalis kung hindi ho matapos yung batas. Kaya po, dahil po sa kanyang pagpupursige, ang Create More Law ay atin na isa batas at ngayon ay pinapatupad po ng ating pamahalaan pang nasyonal. So with that, Mr. President, it is my great honor, it is with great honor to second the nomination of Senate President Chiz Escudero.
Thank you, Senator Gatchalian. Acting Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa be recognized to second the nomination.
Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, as your attorney, it is my honor to express my profound support for one of the sharpest, most intelligent senators I have ever had the privilege of working with. A real attorney with a heart, Senator Chiz Escudero. He whose nomination I have the honor of seconding. So we may call once again him Senate President. I admit that I started as a reluctant supporter of our Senate President, caught up in the whirlwind of events at the time. I gave the kind of support that was almost synonymous with surrender, with raised hands and tear-stained eyes, as if to say, wala na rin akong magagawa. But in the last few months of the 19th Congress, he showed us how his steady hand and calm voice shielded the Senate from anything that gets in the way of our sworn duty to the people, from any threat to our mandate. Whether or not it is a coincidence that Escudero means shield bearer, I do not know. But of this, I am sure, Senator Chiz has more than lived up to his name, safeguarding the Senate. In Senate President Escudero, we find exactly a leader who stands firmly at the forefront, ensuring that amid political fires, the Senate remains to be a body of still water that runs deep, reflective of the views and interests of the people. However, unlike a cold metal shield, his leadership warms our heart. With his almost transcendental adeptness, he comes up with a compassionate solution that works for all parties, especially for the Filipino people. And now, as I offer my support, once again, it is no longer an act of defeat or surrender. No longer to say, wala akong magagawa. Instead, it is one of conviction. We are making the right decision. The shield-bearer leader with a heart is the right choice. Maraming salamat, Mr. President, and I look forward to all that we shall accomplish in the 20th Congress.
Thank you, Senator Bato de la Rosa, the acting majority leader.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that Senator Raffy Tulfo be recognized to second the nomination.
Senator Raffy Tulfo is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. My dear colleagues, today I rise not just to nominate a leader, but to honor a legacy of service and unwavering commitment to the Filipino people. I proudly support the nomination of Senator Francis Chiz Escudero. More than anything, his experience and record in public service speaks for itself. From his early days as one of the youngest lawmakers in Congress to his role as Senate President during the 20th Congress, Senator Escudero has consistently championed legislation that uplifts lives. Under his leadership, the Senate passed key measures that strengthen our sovereignty, boost our economy, and protect our most vulnerable. But beyond the bills and titles, Senator Escudero brings leadership with heart. Matibay na puso ang kailangan upang pagtagpuin ang 23 magkakaibang opinyon dito sa Senado. At ibalanse mga ito sa direksyon na nais tahakin ng ehekutibo. He may have faced criticism for some decision taken as Senate President, but he made sure that those decisions were backed by sound reason and solid legal basis. As a leader, he was able to handle 23 hard-headed and strong-willed individuals with 23 different advocacies and opinions. Kaya naman, malaki ng respeto ko sa trabaho ng isang Senate President. So today, with full confidence in his ability to lead, to listen, and to deliver, I nominate Senator Francis Chiz Escudero because our nation deserves nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Raffy Tulfo. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri be recognized for his nomination.
Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri is hereby recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Akala ko mali din yung pangalan ko. You read it right. Dear my dear colleagues, I have the honor of nominating for the Senate presidency a tried and tested leader of this august chamber, a workhorse like no other, and a man who can strengthen the public trust in this institution in even the most turbulent times. no other than Senator Vicente C. Sotto III. Senator Sotto's track record speaks for itself. He's a veteran among veterans, beginning his career in public service as Vice Mayor of Quezon City in 1998, during which time he established the Vice Mayor's League of the Philippines. And by 1992, he began his first term in the Senate. He has been a hardline anti-drug champion throughout his public service career, spearheading the passage of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002 and the Anti-Drunk and Drug Driving Act of 2012. In the realm of the executive, he also served as the chairman of the Dangerous Drugs Board in 2008 before his return to the Senate in 2010. Other notable laws to his name are the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Council Act, the Children's Emergency Relief and Protection Act, the National Athletes Coach and Trainers Benefits and Incentives Act, and the Motorcycle Crime Prevention Act, as well as the Bayanihan to Heal Us One Act and the Doktor Para sa Bayan Act. Throughout his 24 years in the Senate, as a testament to his great skill as a leader and a consensus builder, he has gained the trust of various sets of senators to serve as Majority Leader, as Deputy Minority Leader, and ultimately as Senate President. Having served in various leadership roles in the Senate, Senator Sotto perhaps has developed a deep understanding of our rules and traditions, and more importantly, the gravity of upholding them. He does not just know our rules inside out, he also knows what chaos and instability will ensue if we fail to honor them. The Senate stands for more than just a legislative function. It stands for the very best of our nation's democratic ideals. And as Senate President, Senator Sotto was a traditionalist in the very best sense of the word, protecting the Senate's stand and legacy as a nation's last bastion of democracy. He led, and I'd like to add for the record that there was one time that his leadership was challenged because of his role of protecting each and every chairman, to allow each and every chairman the leeway to act in accordance to their committee's structure and the ideals of their committee. And he never meddled with these traditions of the Senate. No. As a traditionalist, he's protecting always the Senate's standing and legacy as the nation's last bastion of democracy. He led with fairness and transparency and led as primus inter pares, first among equals. Walang linalamangan, ika nga. Under his leadership, the Senate had a healthy spirit and exchange of debates between the members. But also a spirit of unity that inspired trust and confidence in the Filipino people. As his majority leader during his term as Senate President, I have seen firsthand his commitment to this institution and how he led by example. For instance, he was always present and on time, walang absent. If there's anyone in this institution that claimed the perfect attendance, it is him as well since the start of his legislative career, together with myself since 1998. I guess with him it's 1992. To show his commitment to the institution as a legislator, he led definitely by example. For instance, even during the time of COVID, we were all online, Mr. President. All of us were online. I was in Cagayan de Oro as Majority Leader because there was a lockdown. Senator Sotto, Mr. President, was present all the time in the session floor, in the exact podium where the presiding officer is sitting right now. To be able to open session, even at an elder age, he was a senior citizen. He was not afraid to come to the Senate and to start the sessions in that podium, Your Honors. Ikaw na lang ang mahihiya pag naunahan ka niya sa session hall pag kayo'y late. And I'd like to give a short anecdote on that. As a matter of fact, those days, I would be late sometimes. As many of you know, sometimes I'm late for my meetings. But as Majority Leader, the Senate President Sotto would always start session at 3 p.m., regardless if we were here or not. And I could recall a few times, he would start session at 3 p.m. and suspend to await my arrival. Siyempre, nakakahiya po yan. And I learned my lesson not to be late anymore. It was quite embarrassing, actually. But that was Senator Sotto. He was a stickler for the rules and traditions. At bilang Senate President, lagi siyang handa para sa lahat na nangyayari at mangyayari sa Senado. From the day-to-day grind of legislative meal to the long-term timelines for our priority measures. Ika nga, walang trabahong malit at walang problemang malaki para kay Senator Sotto. Tito Sen was on top of everything and the Senate functioned smoothly under his guidance. So my dear colleagues, let us elect a leader who can help the Senate rise above the noise and establish itself once again as an institution dedicated to nothing but the best interests of the Filipino people. Let us elect Senator Vicente C. Sotto III as our Senate President. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay ang Senado.
Thank you, Senator Migs Zubiri, Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that Senator Lauren Legarda be recognized to second the nomination.
Senator Lauren Legarda is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. It is my honor to second the nomination of Senator Vicente C. Sotto III for the Senate presidency. A former Senate President and the most seasoned member of this chamber, now in his 5th Senate term, Senator Sotto brings unmatched institutional memory and legislative experience, as well as a firm grasp of the discipline and the decorum that this august institution demands. He understands both the weight of the Senate's traditions and the demands of principled dissent, qualities that powerfully distinguish his ability to lead the Senate. I was in my first term in 1998 till 2004. I was the majority leader in 2001, and he was the minority leader. Fast forward on my 3rd term, he was a Senate President for many years, and I was his trusted chairman of the Committee on Finance. We've worked together for more than 25 years, and I can attest to his discipline that he will lead with transparency, discipline, decorum, accountability, and many more, the traits needed by the institution at this time. This designation affirms our commitment to a Senate that is discerning and grounded in democratic principles, engaging in the work of legislation with integrity, transparency, accountability, and independence. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Lauren Legarda, Majority Leader.
Mr. President, there are no other nominations. I therefore move that we close the period of nomination and proceed to vote for the position of the President of the Senate.
Is there any second? Senator Alan, Peter? Is there any objection? There being none, the motion is approved. We shall now proceed to vote.
Roll call vote, the Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Escudero, Senator Ejercito, Senator Estrada,
Escudero,
Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Escudero.
what is the vote?
Escudero.
Hina.
Escudero.
Ba't mahina?
Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan,
And I'd like to explain my vote after the voting.
Senator Sotto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Raffy, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camille, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri, Lapid Escudero.
There are 19 votes in favor of Senator Francis Chiz Escudero and 5 votes in favor of Senator Vicente Sotto. Senator Francis Chiz Escudero is therefore elected President of the Senate.